Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode with yours truly, Dark Suma here. Sounding a little bit different. Oh, now I'm Light Suma, and now I'm Dark Suma. Light Suma, Dark Suma. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. I probably sound a little bit different, don't I? I have been ill, I've had a sore throat, felt a little bit woozy yesterday. Definitely recovering today, and I'm not going to be able to talk too much, which is a strange thing to say before you're recording a video, right? Well, yesterday I took the time to actually play on the server and get some jobs done, which I'm going to show you later on in this episode, so I'm really pleased about that. But today we're going to aim to cross 3 things off our list. We have projects galore going on all around the place, and some of them, I mean, I think they're as old as the server itself. The Death Room and the Memento Room really need taking care of. If you're not sure of what's going on here, I've been keeping mementos from different episodes. It's actually been quite some time since I last put a memento in here, but I do have some lying around in the base that I'm going to go and fish out. And so all of these signify some really cool things that happened on certain episodes. If any of these spark your interest, you can always go and look up the episode number. Maybe you haven't seen the full series. There's lots of fascinating stuff happening all the time. So that's what the Mementos room is about. Then we have the Death Room over here. I have died 1,603 times. No, actually someone's changed that to the amount of time I've spent flying on my Elytra. So I'll change that. I think we're around 16 deaths, something like that. And we have all of them numbered from the different things that we've done. We got killed by Johnny down below. That, I believe, was from when we were hanging out with Zedaf doing a challenge. The creepered one, I can barely remember now. It's so long ago. And, yeah, those are from the Hot Swap challenge. I tabbed out when I was flying and I died. And then all of these were from the Chorus Chaos game that we played with Tango, False, and Zedaf. But the idea was to put those items in item frames on display inside of rooms that were behind these faces. And we're going to build them today. And we'll be starting off with the Death Room. If you were to ask me how many times I died in the Derp Dropper, I would have said 4. Derp. Apparently it was 6 times. I got a feeling I might have died somewhere else, but I really can't remember it, and I would have come over here and made a memento. So apparently that's how many times I died in that game. And for this build, I brought over some materials. Apparently this is full of sand, it's actually full of lava. We're going to be using lava. We're going to be taking advantage of, well, I guess you could call it lighting glitches, but not really. And we're going to be building with stone bricks. We're going to use some black wool, possibly some blocks of coal, something with textures, and then some dark and evil faces. That being Herobrine, by the way, which is kind of scary. So we're going to have those probably at the entrance, and then there's going to be a corridor leading down to some lava. And it looks like we've actually got plenty of space to work with. So we're going to build our corridor going all the way over to the back there. That might be the lava that we use, but probably not. So it's currently daytime, and the light level right here is 7, which means 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is where our tunnel that we're going to build right here, we're going to enclose it so there's no light from somewhere else. This is where it will become complete darkness, which means we could actually just end the tunnel around here and have the lava at this point. But I'm going to extend it back a couple more notches, and we're going to have a corridor on each side. And I think that's where the corridor design is going to change. We're going to put some black carpet on the ground, and the corridor that leads off on either side is where we're going to mark all of the deaths that we've had, right? So we have this enclosed tunnel. The materials are subject to change, by the way. We're also going to throw in something at the entrance here, that the guardians to the entrance, the mob heads that I showed you a second ago. And this should knock out all of the light, except we've got lava down the back here, and that's fine. I've also blocked this off so we can see the effect that we're about to create. So we need to throw down some lava, and then we need to build with slabs and stairs. So the lava is going to be going on top of that block, and I haven't really prepared myself for this very well, but we will place it, we will step back, and it shouldn't flow towards us. Let's remove that block. And now we've got a 3 wide bit of lava. I also have to remove the cobblestone that it was on, I've just realised, because we're actually going to be removing this little bit of lava at the front here. So we shall start off with a slab and a slab over here, and then I need a full block, which I didn't actually bring with me, so we can use 2 slabs like that to make a full block. Then we need another full block below that, and all of a sudden it becomes tricky to build because of the angle I'm at, right? I should have thought this through a bit more. So after that shape, everything else is going to become nice and easy to build. We're going to need to replace the cobble on the side to make this consistent, but if you're wondering what that is, those are eyes. Yes, you are correct. And then with this and that, we can make a mouth. Bam! And there goes the lighting effect that I was looking for. And wow, that looks superb, man. I didn't expect it to pop so much right there. I think we also need to place a block underneath the slab because there is light creeping through there. But now we have an evil dark face at the end of our corridor. And guess what? When you go down here and you turn in either direction, there's probably going to be another couple of evil faces. Did I just find a bug? You can cross stone brick stairs with mossy and cracked. Yep, it's accepting that. I don't actually want to use those though. I have been putting those blocks into this build. Funny enough. Hi, there we go. And now it's looking really run down. I did mention that I wanted to change the materials here. I was going to throw in some other ones, but actually I like the idea of just throwing in all of these jagged blocks and cracked bricks and mossy. And also when it comes to doing different faces, I couldn't really find one that looked as effective as that one, so I've ended up using the same face down at the end of this corridor, and it's going to be the same dealio on the other one as well. What we need is boots. Boots for the Guardians at the entrance of our Death Memento Room. It's not really a room, it's a series of corridors, dark and disturbing corridors where we think about all the deaths we've had on the server. And this is it. Okay, not too much to marvel at, I know, but I love this face and I wanted to keep the theme kind of simple. And then in here we've got each of the Death Mementos. Creeper, Butt Kicker, and you're probably thinking, X, I can't even read that. Well, you can just about make it out, but on YouTube it's going to be a lot worse once it's been compressed, right? Well, if I hold a torch, then you can see how it's laid out. Obviously, that's a feature of Optifine, so not every player's going to have that. But I like this place being dark, mystical, and moody. And look at the ground as you go through here. It's kind of cool, right? I think there's enough room for 32 deaths in total. We are up to 18 or something like that. And so when this thing gets filled up, if it ever does, I don't know what we're going to do then. Maybe we install another corridor and slowly it expands over time. But that is the death room finished. The Memento Room is going to be the less interesting of the two, for two reasons. One is I don't really have an idea of anything special to do here. The other thing is limitations. There's not a lot of space to go up or down really in this area. And so I think what we're going to do is essentially take some of the materials we can see here and kind of mirror them on that space and create a nice little circular room where we can put in some item frames and our mementos. Now I have rattled my brain and I have got 3 of them that we're going to add here. So our first order from our shop was from Mr. Rendog, so that one's going in there. Then we had the lava dolphin a few episodes later. That is one of my favourite moments from this season. And then beheaded, where we got our first witch head from our amazing witch farm, which we'd upgraded to work with basically a clicker so we could use looting on it, and that provided an insane amount of drops. Now there are 2 other items that I've kept, this pick and this record, and I can't remember what episodes they're from or why I've kept them. I think this is the first record we got from our creeper farm, but I have no idea how far back I need to go in order to find that. So those 2 unfortunately are not going to make the cut. I'm going to grab some building materials here, some of the ones we've already seen, like stone slabs and this clay, and see what I can come up with here. So I've mirrored what you see over there on this side, and we'll build something above it that will become the roof. The roof on either side is now going to lower down a little bit just to avoid some hanging blocks and possible, I don't know, disruptions. Things that are in the way. And then over here is where we're going to put the mementos. They're going to be between each of these columns that go up, and they're going to be on these bricks back here, which we're actually going to extend outwards. Now that's because I don't really have an option to change that, because that's part of this wall right here. But what I saw was where I put down the first set of slabs is this little gap right here, and I kind of liked peering through and seeing all of the redstone down below, because there's actually loads of crazy stuff going on down here, like that over there, and I got a cheaty zoom key to help us have a look. So I thought it'd be a cool idea if we filled the floor with slabs and then we just played on that, and it gives us that every other block gap, which means we can put a memento in between. Now we only have, I think it's like 18 mementos, maybe even less than that in total, but we've got a whole season ahead of us and I want to keep making them. So I think these corridors need to be fairly long, and if we keep it small, I reckon we'll be able to do this in each direction and maybe have 20 mementos on either side, something like that. So 40 in total should be good for the length of the season, I think. And now what I got to do is build it. Also, by the way, this is going to be, if I didn't say it already, kind of like a shallow roof. Maybe the roof doesn't even go much higher than that right there. Oh, and it's going to be mirrored on both sides as well, if that wasn't obvious. It's looking pretty ominous in here, especially when we go over to the other side, because the light level drops all the way down to 0, and because there's a light source down below, we have this crazy lighting glitch going on here, which makes this stuff look pitch black. Now, at the top there, I believe they're getting a little bit of light from somewhere, so it's a very interesting looking effect, but we've already done that once today, and I don't think I want to do it again, so what we'll probably do is put... Oh, you are not lighting sources. Hi, where's the light source? We'll probably put something up above, maybe sea lanterns, or maybe try and make something a little less visible than you might expect. Maybe some end rods actually lurking up on the ceiling. And then we're going to have a bunch of item frames on the side, as you'd expect, to look at all the mementos. But this time, the difference is they're actually going to be readable, you know? The death room things being dark and creepy, it kind of makes sense. So let's get up there and let's put in these end rods. We could do this, and then we could even leave the ceiling open as well. I was going to put blocks going across here. I guess if there were a glowstone block in the middle, that would make sense, right? Because if there's blocks, it's going to block the light. But down here, now the light level is pretty reasonable, and actually, that looks so awesome. Kind of liked both of those, but that's what we're going to go with. And then our mementos will simply just go in between like this. The last bit of this room is this space here, I guess, and I'm not going to overthink any of this, you know. I've not tried to make a work of art today. Often when I go into projects, I'm always trying to reach like the highest possible thing that we could do, right, you know. And sometimes I think it's better to do more at maybe not the best thing ever kind of pace, you know. Because then we get things finished. And I'll tell you what, this looks pretty cool, doesn't it, right? So there's a little bit of space over there to fill up, and I thought, why don't I just throw in a bunch of these glazed terracotta blocks, and it kind of looks like a piece of modern art, and I like that. It's also, I like the way it opens up. You see that? Oh, what's this thing? Oh, okay, it's like a corridor. And on this side over here, we have all of our mementos. It's kind of weird the way the text is like white in the middle and then grey on either side because it's between things, but that's alright. Or maybe actually I could put them on a block so they push out a little bit, but then that would change the effect we have through here. I'm overthinking it. I think we're done today, and we filled up exactly one side with no mementos on the other side, so in the future we'll be putting them over on this side, and I cannot wait to do that. The ceiling here looks pretty cool. We've got a couple of lighting sources, and that's it. Two rooms, two projects that we've been talking about for a long time, finally finished. Cleaning up loose ends has very much been a theme lately. I've been watching the other Hermits, as I always do, and just seeing other people get involved in projects and doing things that I want to get involved with, and I'm thinking, man, I can't keep starting these new projects, got to finish up old ones. And so a couple of episodes back I asked you all to vote on what you wanted to see, and the Death and Mementos room were the second most voted for thing, and that's now finished, so we can rejoice. And we're going to try and finish the Iron Golem farm today as well. That's kind of odd that hasn't been picked up. Are you telling me this is already full up? No. I think it's locked by this block here, which is a design flaw, and one I'm a little bit surprised I overlooked. Well, basically the minecarts are supposed to be in here for us to use this tunnel to get to the other end. So you stand on this thing, it places the minecart, and then when you're inside of it you get to go all the way down. And we shall see that the witch hut tunnel, I guess you could call it that, has been complete. This is another thing that I did yesterday while I was ill, and I haven't even shown you what the other thing was. I did two things, this is one of them. Over there in the corner is actually a way through to another area, because there's a place off in the distance where we used to farm parrots and stuff like that. Yeah, look at that. Because this block is powered, it's locking the hopper. I can't believe I never noticed that. So I guess I'll have to do this manually, which is kind of weird. Just chuck them in like that, and then when I go back, I can activate it again. That's actually the first nether tunnel that we've completed building now that I think about it. And this thing's also for using with boats as well. I didn't bring one with me to show you, but the packed ice allows you to go very fast on a boat. And because the rails were quite difficult to set up and took a lot of time, I think for future tunnels we should rely on the boats and not bother with the rail setup, because that'll make things a lot easier. Now we've got tunnels all over the place to build, but I think we'll be doing this one soon because it goes to the end portal. It goes to the mining desert, which lots of other players use. And also at the front here, where there's going to be like a foyer area, we have this, which takes us to our bone farm. It's also near to the site of the cave spider spawners. I think there's 4 of them in total, so if I want a string farm, that'll be the place to get it. So we're going to be tidying up this area, and then behind it you can see I've already set up the infrastructure to have boats whiz through here. And when it comes to tunnel design, the way that we did it with the witch hut there makes it so much easier. You know, you've only got to place a few blocks over and over again in long rows, and there's not a lot of digging to do. That's the way to get a long tunnel done, you know. Otherwise, if you do some big elaborate design, you're going to be working on it for a long time, and then you're just going to be zipping through it every now and then. So I'm hoping that is another loose end we can tie up real soon. But coming back to the base here, I want to show you some more things that I was doing yesterday when I was under the weather. I still am today. Also, this thing right here, absolutely fantastic. Got to stock it up soon, though. It's good to always have those on hand, because I was running a little bit low then. But let's go all the way up to the sky. You'll be able to see what I've been doing over here. It might not hit you straight away, because it's not the Iron Foundry, as we're calling it. It is the area around the Iron Foundry. You may notice it has all been done, finished. The landscaping, the terraforming, the placing of blocks, whatever you want to call it. It is done, and it's kind of hard to look at as we fly around here because you don't get to stay still. So I think at the end of the episode we'll also bring the camera account on, but all over the place there's just, you know, blocks, and they look cool in different places. I did different things with the blocks. They're kind of hard to notice, and then over on this side I totally changed the terraforming to the point where there's a bit of a dip here and you can actually see some more of this, which I really liked. So I'm extremely happy with how that's turned out and how much of that we actually got done, because it means that the Foundry is now the only thing in this biome that is left unfinished, and once we finished it, it means another biome has been completed, right? It's now nighttime, and I've worked on the Foundry a tiny bit. Just wanted to grab the camera account and zoom in and show you some of the changes. So around the outside we have buttons for some more detail. This is a suggestion from you commenters, so thank you as always for commenting and tweeting me with your inspiration. I also added in a few light sources down here, and then I added in these structures that go on the inside like this and mirrored what we have on the bottom just above to make all of that a little bit more uniform. So now at night with those light sources, I feel like the illumination of the middle part looks a lot better. We've also got a bit more illumination going on up here, but now we get to focus exclusively on the top of this, which is the last part of the build. If I've sounded in any way unenthusiastic in this video, I'd like to remind you that I have been ill. I've slowly been recovering over the day. It's been alright. And now what I'm doing is the final part of the top area here. This is actually my favourite little bit out of the entire build, believe it or not. I just love the way the bit down below is arranged, but what we're going to do right here is bring this up by 3 blocks. So we're going to see the return of these little 3x3 iron grids, and then we're going to be putting some stone brick slabs in between, and we're going to bring it all up to this level here, and then this is where we're going to start the final part of the build. This is where we bring in the lack of symmetry, you know, all of the variations and breaking away from this constant theme. It's going to be pretty cool. But as I said, this bit down below is actually my favourite bit, so let's hop down there. I don't know why. I just really like the way this is laid out and the way these iron bars kind of bar you off from what's behind it, although it doesn't look like there's anything dangerous back there. So this platform here is where all of our random stuff is going to go. And I'm not finished with this over here, but I got distracted by putting a load of iron trapdoors in the middle here to segregate lava and water. Let's just fly out and fly back in again so you can see. Cool, doesn't that look cool as we whiz by it? Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, I know. And now landing, epic. Hold it down shift, and that seemed to help me land in the right spot. What I want to do here is I want to have, let's make sure we do this right. This is going to be awful. Oh, it needs a block below it. Of course it does. Well, I can put that there. But this is going to be awful because we're going to have like all of these lava and water bits right next to each other, which is just going to make me feel uncomfortable. So this is going to look like some sort of reactor core here, like having all of this water to cool down the lava in the middle. And because we can see through the water where we can't see through the lava, we'll actually see them sort of meet from the outside, and I believe even the light source of the lava will come and illuminate this area up the top here a little bit. So that is flowing down, and at the bottom here it's all made out of trapdoors as well, so that water that you see goes all the way down to the bottom where the iron golems spawn, but the lava won't make its way down there. And I gotta say, from back here it's not so obvious that the lava is in there, I guess, but it should at least emit a little bit of light at night time. Time continues to stretch on. I'm still feeling a little bit on the rough side and starting to get tired, and I haven't done as much as I wanted to do, which is such a common theme in this series. I never learn, do I? It takes so much longer to build this kind of stuff than you think, right? And so I want to say a big shout to Mirandom Man. I mean, that name is spelt in a crazy way. If I said it wrong, I'm sorry. Yourself and Prohoho, thank you for the tweets. Very inspirational tweets that have helped me with the last part of this build, which I'm not really going to show in full. I'm going to tease you because we're going to come back and work on this again in the next episode. But it should be a case of at the beginning of the next episode, I show you everything finished, and then we go do something else. Now we are reaching near the top of the final part of this, which is just going to be a tower which is going to output some materials, and I'm bringing this up to speed so that we can place some blocks around it. I'm not fully prepared here. We want to have blocks there, and then here in the middle, like so. I need to be on top of this because we're going to place a lava back here. I actually could just put the lava right there, you know, so let's break all the stone I just placed and build it up like normal. So this is going to be like a deposit of liquid coming out the side. We're going to do the same thing with water and with blood as well. So the lava's going to come out of this side, and it's going to fall just down into that little bit right there, right? Let's fly away and see what I've done. I haven't looked at this for a while from another view, and it's looking pretty crazy, the last bit right here. But it's very nearly done now. It's very nearly done. We're going to add loads of details on this level here, which are going to make it really feel less symmetrical as well when you see it from afar. But that's all to come in the next episode then, I guess. So if you've enjoyed it, leave a like. As always, thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.